Okay. Uh, July 4th, 2016, about quarter after 4 p.m. 72 degrees in the garage here, and it's raining. And that's gonna upset a lot of people. Fireworks night, you know. I'm holding down the fort here myself. Family member came by from, well, let's say exactly mileage-wise, but quite a bit of ways away, much further away than I would have attempted on such a machine as you're seeing here. And he took off, you know, well, to visit a fairly local family. But he left us here. It would be this will be here probably a day or two. I'm not even sure I'm gonna ride the thing. Now, obviously, it's a motorized bicycle. Oh, what the heck was that? Uh-oh. One of my halogens just blew. I'm going to give that a moment. I'm not going anywhere near that. We'll do with just the one for now. But I'm not getting in front of that until that cools off. It's quartz halogens, very bright and hot. Anyway, there it is. This bicycle. I haven't really looked over it too closely. It's got sort of a makeshift luggage rack on here, and for some reason he has the seat, actually a nice seat, but he's got it mounted backwards. To each his own, I suppose. Side to side, could use a little stabilization. Up and down. Yeah, it's workable. Some things I would tweak here and there. Good Lord. Well, it's got a rear fender. It's a different color than the rest of the frame is painted, so I don't know. I doubt this came with it. And it's incredibly loose. Good Lord. The fastener down here is, I think it's an inch long, and it's backed out almost all the way. That's surprised he hasn't lost it already. Good Lord. Yeah. And these are loose. Very, very easy to. I've not asked for nor been given permission to do any service on it. Yeah, he just showed up, parked it here, which is fine. No troubles. But I am going to, you know, he asked me some questions about it. We didn't have a lot of time because they were on their way out. And he had asked me some questions about things and quality of the engine and so forth. So, why not look over some other things? He's got his helmet here. Good idea if you're going to be riding something like this in traffic. I wouldn't. I'd ride this around the side streets in the neighborhood, but that's about it. I guess at night, overcautious. Another word for that might be pussy, you know. Need to have these intact. So, let me set that off to the side and see. Maybe a little bit more. Let me check this. Yeah, good enough. So what is this thing? It's a 49cc engine. Pretty much a chainsaw engine, although I think this one was cast specifically for such an application. I know this was a kit, and the bicycle itself, which is a sort of a, I'm not going to call this a mountain bike, a rough bike with a road, I'm sorry, road bike with wider tubage. It's all steel. This thing, I lifted it. I guesstimate maybe a total 70 pounds, somewhere there, about. So anyway, this engine, two-stroke, of course, pretty good-sized muffler. It's probably fairly quiet. I had not heard the thing, but I did not hear him arrive here. So it's probably pretty quiet. It probably sounds like a moped. We may get into that later. The engine, again, appears to be sand-casted aluminum. Definitely aluminum. And it does look sand-casted, and of course where the flats needed to be. The only marking I can find anywhere on this is the carburetor. NTTC. I did notice this earlier and looked it up, and apparently it is specific for, and I may be mistaken about this, but bicycle engines, such as this. It does have a bolt on it, assuming there's a float in there. There's a drain. That's nice. A couple of adjustments here. One mixture, the other probably idle. Attached fuel line here. There is a filter. Of course, this does use the fuel oil mix, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but it works. What else here in the back? Oh, it's the bicycle itself is it's got a derailleur back here. No derailleur in the front. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's got a 7-speed derailleur in the back and derailleur in the front. So it's a 7-speed bicycle. Of course, those have nothing at all to do with the motor, the engine. And chain's a little loose. Tightener, idler. Could probably need a bit of tweaking. What's this? Looks like a 41 or something. Number 415 chain. So certainly appropriate for a 49cc engine. I forget off the top of my head. I think this goes up to 60 cc. I don't know. Maybe 100 cc. I'd have to look, but I know that that's okay for that engine. But this stretched a little more, the idler's a bit more, or this moved some. It seems a bit loose. I'm not going to change it or adjust anything, the permissions. But I certainly will observe and notice stuff. I don't know what this is about here in the rear. That might be some sort of tool. I don't know what that is. Okay, so out of the gate, I'd like it not to leak here without that being secured. Fender. Doesn't have a fender on the front. Not sure why. It really should. Why spray mud and stuff all up in the face when you don't have to? Maybe it came without, this was added later, I don't know. Oh jeez, so what else is there? Seats on backwards, added. I asked him about this. The gas tank's hanging up here in front. Normally the tank would be mounted here on this tube. He didn't like it, and I can't say I blame him, because if you jump off the seat, it's square into the, so he has secured to this tube another kludged piece of tubing here, which extends out the front, to which the fuel tank is attached. Yeah, how in the heck? You see there's screw hose clamps interfering with cables. Oh, what is that? That's the part of the brake. Yeah, it's rear caliper. Oh, by the way, this thing uses the right-hand squeeze to activate both front and rear calipers. The front mounted to forks, the rear center mounted. Yeah, don't try to brake hard in the rain. Anyway, I'm going to put that right back where it was. Oh, I see. Oh, good Lord. This thing I'm fiddling with here is what used to be part of the fuel tank mounting, and this bracket, the soft steel, is, I kid you not, riveted, pop riveted, to a hole drilled into the tubing right here. Guys, no, never. That's just asking for a crack. I know that's a stress high too, because I've had bicycles break the weld here. And I had a rough ride, just from normal use, extended use. The stresses on this over time, enormous. And they drilled a hole in it just to put this up. And then pop rivet on the bracket. Guys. No. Where the other bracket was, this is all up here. This is all home-fashioned, homemade. Gets it done, I suppose. Wouldn't go about it quite that way myself, but I guess you get what you pay for. What are these? They're yeah, 28s. They're in good shape. Here to be. What else here? I don't know what this is about. Looks like this bit here is intended to be a rest for this piece of pipe tube. They've just got hose clamps here and here to support the gas tank, fuel tank. Obligatory use of bread wrapper ties here and there. Another thing, let's see. This thing has a clutch operated here by this squeezer. Ooh. I don't know how long that's going on. And it's rubbing up against the bulb of the carburetor. Great. Come on, guys. This clutch has a lock to hold it in. And starting this, there's no pull, there's no kick, you have to roll start it. Which is fine, no problem with that. Just get it rolling, pop the clutch, and start up. The throttle over here. Ooh. Comes down through the top of the carb, right here. Gate valve, up and down. Leverage, kill switch here. Gear shift here. Move that. Gee, what else? Oh. Not the bicycle really, there's not much to tell. The engine though. Boy, that is kind of squeezed in there. It does appear that this block, in quotes, does have a feature here to fit to the frame, but the diameter of this looks like it's a bit larger than the diameter in the casting for the engine. So what they've done is they've put a steel plate in here. The casting, the engine casting is just bolted to this plate here and on the other side. And then this steel plate extends out a bit downward, and then they put a U-bolt in it with a nut and a jam nut, which is good. No relying on locking hardware. That's a little dodgy. And it appears, I can't tell you for sure, but I think this plate here is stainless, which would be tougher, and it won't rust. The other side, it does look like on the casting of the motor engine, it's flat, and then there's an adapter piece here that fits this tubing, and then a clamp on the other side bolted again with nut and jam nut. Good way to do it. What else? Next they put a guard on here, zip tied in place. This guard has been contacting the chain. I can see this all ripped out here. Not surprised. Well, keep your pants from getting in there, hopefully. But then again, you don't want to ride this thing with short pants on because the muffler is right here. There's your foot, there's your leg, lean it over to the side. My money has it this gets hot enough to burn you. And yet, you really can't reposition it at all. It has to be where it is. It's nice that they clamped it here, it's not going to wobble around. Stress this off. But, you know, another thing strikes me. This thing, it's got oil everywhere. It really shouldn't be the case unless it's spilled. I don't see any. I know some comes out the car, or right out of the exhaust, and that drips down here. In fact, it's already made its signature on my garage floor in a couple of places. Not a problem. But that suggests to me something somewhere is leaking, and that the oil we're seeing, of course, is coming. There's no oil, crank case oil in this, and it's coming from the fuel supply somewhere. I see a little bit on the fuel filter here. That ain't a kludge. Good Lord. If I were down to go, much of it is on the cylinder. Oh God! Oh. Okay. Just touching the spark plug, or the spark plug's loose. It's just wobbling around in there. All right. And that wasn't even on all the way. What the heck? Oh, this needs to be moved, because to get this on all the way, it's over stress and I don't know. I'm not going to move that without permission, but I will. I mean, this is less than finger tight. And this bit oily, not burnt. Oily. That's what you'd expect to think. But clearly this, by the way, marked LE Z4C. Just want to, this edge. Because Lord, even this is loose. Oh man. Well, he was using this engine as is, and that's the way I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let him know about these things I noticed and say, here's what we need to do before you're leaving here with this. Tighten that. Need to move this down a little bit, put some stress off the ignition line, high voltage. Pull that out. Tighten the rear fender. A couple of fasteners. And anything else that gets noticed. They were in and out of here so quickly today I did not have a chance to really talk about permissions to do any work. Or even write this thing, so I'm not going to do that. I would like to, and if my feet can reach the ground from that seat, I certainly will do that. And if I do that, there'll be video of it. I don't know. If I crash, well, there'll be a video of that too. Hope not. But given the weather, it's not going to happen today. Maybe the next day or the following day. Not terribly important. Anyway, that's this bike. Looks like a fun thing to tool around on. I have one myself. It's not like this. It's not a kit. It's a 10-speed 1970 Varsity, a Schwinn Varsity. And I put a 31cc engine with a friction drive to a tire. And while not optimal, it was a fun thing to ride around on. I still have it. It's 20 feet from where I stand. But the engine, I don't run anymore. Just wore out. Took its abuse well. But I still have it. And maybe make a bit of that if I ever get that thing running again. But that 31cc engine on mine, I don't weigh a lot, and that thing on the flat would get you maybe 25 miles an hour. I don't know what this thing will do on the flat. No idea what the gear ratio is, and torque, and I don't know. But I'd like to give it a try. And hopefully, well, and if I do, I'll bid it. See ya. By the way, my stage light here. This is one of the. This is the lamp that blew out in it just after I started that vid. The quartz thing, 300 watts. There are two of them, and I don't know if you can see this, but it actually got so hot that it began to bubble out. These things run at a very high internal pressure, especially once lit. And they have a nasty habit of exploding where this is beginning to bubble out, may have, if the filament stayed intact long enough, actually blown out. And you do not want to be in front of these when or if that happens. These lamps I'm using have no shielding over them. There are reasons for that. But if you use these kind of lamps, you have to be careful and be aware. And don't use this if you have fuel in tank and it's not vaporizing out of it, yeah, you're probably okay. But if you're using solvents or filling and emptying gasoline or anything like that, do not use these anywhere near it. They'll screw you. I've not had personal experience with that, but I have had these things explode, and they go off with a pretty good pop. So he's done. The filament gave up before the envelope did, and that's quartz. It's not just glass, and the glass would never maintain the pressure inside with being as hot as the envelope gets. Just a caution. Yeah?